Hi, Robert O'Brien from O'Brien Guitars and the Luthier Academy. Recently, the folks at Aqua Coat sent me a couple of products to test. The first one is the Aqua Coat High Performance Clear Wood Grain Filler. And the second one is the Aqua Coat Gloss Instrument Lacquer. Now, many years ago, I did videos for Aqua Coat on these two products. They sent me an upgraded version. This one apparently is new and improved, has higher solids and a better fill. Now, I've always had great results with Aqua Coat products anyway, so I find it difficult to improve upon it. Now it's got more solids in it, so it takes fewer coats. So when I test products, I like to abuse the product. I like to find the very porous grain, open grain wood to work with, so I can see if the product's actually going to fill this. I also like to apply it in a method that is not necessarily recommended, so I decided to just paint it on with a paintbrush, a foam brush, rather than spray it. It is formulated to spray right out of the can, and I probably would have got a little easier results when it came to leveling if I had sprayed it. However, I decided to brush it. So I chose a couple of open grain pieces of wood. One is East End rosewood with a lot of pores, and the second one was a piece of Paduke. I sanded them to 220 grit. I removed all of the dust out of the pores because I want the grain filler to go into the pores. I like to apply a coat of shellac to the wood grain before putting the Aqua Coat on there. I just find that I get a little better color than just putting the Aqua Coat directly on the wood. So I sealed with some shellac, but you don't have to. Then I applied a couple of coats of the Aqua Coat pore filler. I just used a hotel room key or one of those promotional credit cards. I find that the more well-to-do luthiers use the American Express card. But whatever you want, just get it into the pores. I rub it across the grain with the grain, really mash it down into the pores and wipe off the excess. Don't leave a lot on there or you're going to create a lot of work for yourself when it comes time to sanding. About an hour and a half later or so, I applied a second coat. If you want to, you can slightly scuff between coats with either some 320 or the Scotch-Brite pads. And then I let that dry overnight. The next day I came in and leveled, and you can use 320 grit paper. You can also use Scotch-Brite. Doesn't really matter. Just get it leveled, knock off any little high spots. And then I applied with a foam brush, the instrument lacquer. And I have found that if you prime the foam brush with a little bit of moisture, I get a little bit better flow out. It seems to just flow a little better. And I put on 3 coats in one day, about an hour and a half between each coat. And you can slightly level with some 320 grit paper if you want to between coats, especially if you're applying it with a brush. You leave some ridge marks, and so I found that helped eliminate those between coats. I let that sit overnight, and then the next day I came in and did exactly the same thing again. Another 3 coats, about an hour and a half apart, leveling between coats. And then I set the sample boards aside for about 10 days. Now, there's no magic number with the 10 days. It's just I got busy with a student. I had to build a couple of guitars that week. So 10 days went by. And then I came in and leveled using these Super Acrylics by Eagle Abrasives. I started at 600 grit and took it all the way to 3,000 grit. And as you can see, it's pretty nice at that point. I mean, if you want just a satin finish or kind of a semi-gloss, then you've got it. You don't need to do anything else. The pores are all filled. Life's good. If you want to take it to a little higher gloss, then you can use a swirl remover or a fine scratch remover. Here I'm just using Novus 2 and just a rag and just putting it on and just rubbing it and buffing it up a little higher. You can also do it on a buffing wheel. So if you want to use a buffing wheel, be careful not to let the buffing wheel yank it out of your hands and it hits the floor. That happened to a friend of mine once. But as you can see, the results speak for themselves. Very high gloss. All the pores are filled. So life's good. Now, one of the best things about this product is the cleanup. It was so nice that after each application, I just walk over to my sink and rinse the brush out. Something else you want to do is make sure you stir the lacquer well before you apply it. Stir, don't shake. You don't want to create any air bubbles in it. But the cleanup is nice. The application is nice. I mean, you saw me do it just with a foam brush and look at the results. If I sprayed it, like I said, it would probably be even easier for me because I can lay it down a little nicer. So, Aqua Coat, thank you very much for the product. You guys go out, test it, see what you think. Happy building.